This morning I'm speaking to Prof. Andre Heymans about the so-called Fourth Industrial Revolution. Welcome, Andre, and what do people mean when they talk about the Fourth Industrial Revolution?
Hi, Walden. Yes, the Fourth Industrial Revolution is the latest technological advances that humankind has been making. And it refers back to the first industrial revolution where we took steam power and we replaced human and animal power with that. And this is merely the latest revolution in doing things better, faster, and hopefully more cheaply.
The sort of stuff that I read about talks about artificial intelligence, 3D printing, drones, all these sort of buzzwords that you see a lot about. How do you see that changing the way that economies produce and people consume and people work? What would be the impact?
That is a very good question. If you look at the way that we've been structuring our economies since forever, it basically runs on capital and labor. And what we see now, what we've been seeing over the last 300 or so years, is capital playing a more and more important role, and labor, as a result, playing a less important role. So when you grow an economy, you have to do one of two things. You either have to get more of each, more capital or more labor or more land, or you have to make those individual factors of production more competent or more efficient. And when we look at labor, we will have to upskill labor in order to match the advances that we've made in capital, in other words, technology.
Our audience is typically sort of students qualifying themselves in some or other direction. What is the advice that you want to give them to adapting to the Fourth Industrial Revolution?
There's fortunately a lot to be done, and when we talk about the Fourth Industrial Revolution, you'll see that there are two camps. We've got people that are worried about it in the amount of jobs that we're going to lose based on this new technological advances. And then you've got people that is very excited. And it is also true that we are going to see new jobs being created. Jobs that we don't even know about today will be the jobs that's going to run the economies of tomorrow. So for students today, my word of advice would be to upskill yourself constantly. Make sure that you know what is going on out there, what these technologies are all about, how they work, and how you can be a part of this revolution rather than sitting on the sideline watching it go by.
I've read a few interesting things on the internet. You find the guys who are really serious about everybody should learn how to code. And then there's also the opposite camp who says that don't learn how to code, learn how to work with people. That's going to be the really scarce skill in the future. The machines are going to do more of the work, and particularly the routine tasks that are easy to break down into smaller bits and automate. They are going to be done by the algorithms, but you would still need to see a person if you want to have a physical therapist at hand or speak to a counselor. And that may be a way of thinking about it as well, is sort of the other skills that we typically talk about as soft skills are going to become the really important ones when the machines do all the other work.
That is very true. And I think what we see with all kinds of change, people don't like change for a start. And what you see with change is people then tend to think that this new technology is going to be so influential that nothing else will survive. And that's simply not true. I think if we keep some perspective and we look at what is left, then we say, well, these are the kind of jobs that can be automated. If you have parts that's being printed with 3D printers, they don't need to sit in a warehouse. So you might not need a warehouse manager, but instead you'll need a logistical manager in order to make sure that the part that is being ordered will get where it needs to go, even though it's a drone taking the parts to the end client. So yes, I fully agree. The softer skills will become more important because someone still needs to take charge of these technologies. They are not going to run themselves, not totally in actual fact. So if you look at the important things, yes, I agree. You have to learn how to work with people. And if you look at the things that we cannot do with technology, it is things like creative thinking. There's, at this point, still no match for the human brain coming up with new technologies. So yes, I think that we have to rethink the way that we think.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Walden.